I think it should be a first-line treatment. I mean, look at what we have. Look at the alternative. Chemo and radiation do so much damage to the human body. If the cancer doesn't kill them, then the chemo and radiation will probably do them in.
Yep.
And if you look at intractable epilepsy cases,
I took all
we
the
could have,
video.
you know, my
and I
daughter's
took
not a
couple of
candidate
pictures.
for brain surgery, but why would I want to put her through that anyways if cannabis could help with her seizures?
Now, that's gonna
She's
gonna
taken
help.
toxic medications that were developed for the adult brain, not the child brain. And I think it's in every parent's best interest to seek out alternatives that may work for their kids. And for the health of every Canadian in Canada, I think we have the right to look into alternatives because it's our right. And natural things are far better than anything that we cook up in a laboratory or invasive surgeries and stuff like that. I just think there's a real future for cannabis. So we keep pushing. We need to reclassify cannabis as a medicinal herb. Not a drug, a medicinal herb. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much for coming, Kim. And I think her story is really important for us today because we're not only here for ourselves today, we're not only here for the thousands of other patients across Canada that need this medicine, we're here for all Canadians, past, present, and future, that need this plant. And if this government successfully stops patients from growing their own medicine, forcing them to buy it off of these large corporations, it will stay that way for a very long time. If we're not successful in fighting for our right to grow, these corporations will take it over and it will be their right to sell this medicine. We have to fight for it now, because if we lose our ability to grow now, it's gone for a very, very long time until we have a new government come in and it's fully legalized for everybody. That's probably what we're looking towards in the future. But certainly for the time being, we have to do everything we can to step up and fight for patients' rights. And when you're arguing and advocating amongst your friends and family, I think one of the easiest and best analogies to use is the idea that if tomatoes were not proven to be healthy, then perhaps we shouldn't be able to cook in our kitchens and should be forced to buy food off restaurants, because it might be dangerous to grow tomatoes in our home. Most house fires are actually caused by cooking. So if they really care about health and safety, then they'd stop us from making our own food in our own kitchens and force us to buy it all in restaurants, because they can do it safely where we won't get food poisoning or any other problems occur. Essentially, that is what they are doing to patients, is forcing them to go to restaurants for their own food. And that's wrong, that's abhorrent, and we need to stop that. So again, I think I'm preaching to the converted here. You all obviously care deeply about this, and I really appreciate you all coming. It's been a very important day because, again, today these licensed producers are having their message heard. They're in the media today talking about how safe they are, but how unsafe you are, and how important it is for them to control this industry. Today is a day for patients to stand up against that wave and say, no, we can grow our own medicine. We care about ourselves enough to do it properly. If we can't, then we'll buy it off you. That's fine, but you shouldn't be forced to buy it off these large corporations. And so, again, thank you so much to John Conroy for keeping that battle going. Thank you so much to Allison and Deb and everybody else that's come here. We've got people from Calgary, people from the West Coast, and all over Ontario. I really, really appreciate you making the extra effort to come here. Thanks everyone for being here. Have an awesome day, and thank you again for coming out. Take care.
Hi, my name is Terry Parker. I'm down here, up here, I should say, at the House of Commons in Ottawa, and here in protest of the government's new bill giving corporations sole growership over the country. People may recall I'm the one who spent 20 years for the courts to have marijuana struck down unconstitutional on December 10th, 1997, which was upheld by the Ontario Court of Appeal on July 31st, 2000. But when the government made a decision, they also suspended it for 1 year for the government to make up some sort of remedy for those requiring marijuana for medical necessity. As such, in 2001, they implemented the Medical Marijuana Access Regulations, which require persons to obtain a doctor's permit or a prescription in order to obtain marijuana medical necessity. I have to object to this. One, being an unwitting subject of highly classified human research in my teenage years, should not have to depend on a doctor or criminal when it comes to access to marijuana for medical necessity. For years, I've struggled with epilepsy. I've lost my jobs. I've been not allowed to go to school, college, because of my seizure disorder. And I find it disgraceful that we got a government that is sanctifying all kinds of unauthorized, non-therapeutic experimentation with unwitting subjects, at the same time prohibiting a substance which is very effective in treating a host of conditions such as epilepsy, MS, CP, cancer, for another one. The present regulations affect me now where I cannot get a doctor to fill the forms, therefore being prone to criminal arrest. I would hope that someday that in this country we can vote in the Marijuana Party of Canada, and by doing so, then we'll have true legalization and a cure for those who are suffering anything in this country. And that's my 2 cents for today. Have a good day.
My name is Al Graham, and I've just driven 3 hours from north of Belleville, Ontario, to come here to Ottawa today in order to protest the changes in the medical marijuana laws here in Canada. We don't believe that it's right that they are taking away our rights to grow our own medication in strains that we have found that work for us, and force us to buy marijuana, our medical marijuana, from commercial growers that are taking over our license system. It's a lot of patients will suffer due to cost alone. Presently, patients can sell or can grow their cannabis, for pennies, and they're going to sell it to us for $7 to $10, even $12 a gram. And patients, just don't get that kind of money. I spoke with a lady last night who her daughter uses cannabis for epilepsy, and they grow a specific strain called Haley's Comet. And her daughter requires approximately 40 grams of this stuff, 35 to 40 grams a day, and then have to buy that at $10. There's $300 a day. Then there's no way that patients can afford something like that. And you take that figure, you times it by 30 days, you're looking at approximately $9,000. So what kind of patient makes that kind of money? Nobody does. So we're here today to let people know that patients are going to suffer with this new program, and it's not right. It's not fair to the patients. They stigmatize us. They say that we're a threat to society. They tell us that gangs are going to break into our houses and can harm neighbors, harm our communities. But yet, when you look around, of the 40,000 people, there's only a very small number of them that are active in the community. Most of the people want to be quiet, and they don't say anything. And those people, as well as ourselves, are being